Welcome, Coach Isaiah Cox.
Yes, man.
Good to see you.
Good to see you,
Um,
man.
if nobody knows, you are my biggest rival for the best dressed person at the state finals. When how did you come up with pulling? I mean, you pulled out all the stops that first year I saw you at the
Yeah,
white tux. That looked
yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah. Just it was just like me and the assistant back there in Toma. He's the head coach now, John Yeager. We were just like, man, what can we do to stand out? And then we were like, I'm gonna go white, and then you can go red, and then it just popped, man. It was big for the moment, and
Yep.
it made it. It made it made the night. So it was awesome, man.
It does. I think dressing up and making it special night for everybody. I think that's
Yes.
just an important part of it. You know, the guys always wear their suits, but I think the girls, I think we bring a little bit more flair and style.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
Yes, yes.
Um, I've ran into you the last few weeks now. You know,
Yep.
we were at the IWCOA convention and then
Yep.
Corn
Yep.
Cob.
Yep. That was
Did you pick
awesome.
up pick up anything great at the convention yesterday?
Yeah, I love going to those things, man. They like, it's like a jump start to get into wrestling, refresher for everybody and stuff like that. So I'm very grateful they put those type of things coming up, things on before the season. And just picking up on just little things, catching up with guys like you and stuff
Yeah.
like that, seeing the coaches, just hearing what people have to say and just picking people brains because I'm a young guy and you guys have a lot of wisdom, a lot, you've been here before, so it's just like just picking your guys' brains, seeing what you guys do and learning, just that's all it is, just learning.
Well, you're obviously doing a really good job at Marshalltown. Well,
Thank
at
you.
Atumlo too, but at Marshalltown, I've really noticed the growth of the teams. And
Thank you.
down at Corn Cob, the girls looked good. You
Yeah.
had a great number. How
Thank
many
you.
girls did end up going to Corn Cob?
We had eight total. We just had it was like some freshmen, some sophomores, some juniors, and a senior. And it was just like, they came there and compete, man. They wanted to get better. They've been hungry. This summer, I feel like we put in a lot of work. We had Hawkeye Community College come down and they were just running practices and stuff. They had some of their girls coming. We went up to Ames and, working out with them a little bit, just, I'm trying to give them the best opportunity to get better, so, just being on the mat, that's what it is all about for right now. So, just that's all, just getting better.
Yeah, it showed. It really did show.
Thank you.
Last year was your first season at Marshalltown. How do you feel like that first season went?
It was awesome, man. Like I couldn't say like everybody was so welcoming and the girls, they could have been standoffish and like, oh, we don't want this new guy, but man, they were welcoming. They wanted to win, they wanted to learn. They were it was just awesome. Like parents, everybody was just amazing, man. So it was just a welcoming time and like it's still going on still right now until this day. It's like some people are like, oh, it's just a honeymoon phase. Nah, man, I think this is like for real. And I love the feeling about it. So
Yeah, I've noticed, coaching girls, once you gain their trust and they
yes,
like they'll do anything for you. And the
yes,
families, they're so
yes,
thankful to have someone that
yes,
cares because, we'll be honest, it's new. Girls wrestling's new, and
yes.
some of the coaches really haven't embraced it like you have, like I
Yeah,
have.
yeah,
But
yeah.
the ones that have, man, it is some of the
It's
funnest things you'll ever do. I mean, you
yeah, it's
coached boys
awesome.
before. You
Yes.
started coaching boys. So
Yep.
what do
I
you
was
think?
volunteering.
What's the difference? What is the difference between boys and girls coaching?
I think um I'm sorry to say it. I think girls are a little hungrier right now. Like they want it more. Like it's there. Like, and they want to be the best. And they want all the attention. And they'll do anything. Like you were just saying, if you get their trust, they'll freaking run through that wall for you if you want them to. So that's what I think it is right now. I'm not saying the boys are not doing those things, but it's just like it's a little bit
It's
more I don't know. It's something about it. Like, people
yeah,
like it's not just me saying it, it's everybody. People saying it like, man, it's something going on with that girl stuff. So it's
yeah.
it's really good.
it is so much fun to do. I'd never go back. I would never go back and coach a boys team. And I'm too old to think about coaching another team anyway. But yeah, I would never go back and coach another girls team or another boys team. Um, core values. I know where you went. Won't mention where you went to college yet. We'll bring that up later. But man, I know that you have a good system of core values that you're instilling
Yeah.
into your team. What are some of
Yeah.
those things that you're really trying to give the girls?
Just honestly, like hard work, never giving up. I always tell my girls like wrestling is like life. You know what I'm saying? Because in life you're gonna get beaten down. You probably hear every wrestler probably says it, but like, man, it's true. Like I've been through some tough times, and like the stuff that got me through it was because like I've been through wrestling, and I'm like, man, I remember when I thought I was gonna die out there doing all those sprints,
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
all those hills and stuff. And like I pushed through that and I made it through that storm. And just like that, and like those core values, I put those through life, working hard, not being able to quit, just striving to be the best every day. Things are not going to be perfect. It's just like, you got to deal with stuff, you got to push through it. And our girls are seeing that right now. They have a hard life. Some of them have a hard life, and they're pushing through all that stuff. And they're coming to practices in the morning. They come to practice in the afternoon. They're showing up to the Saturday tournaments. They're doing stuff in the off season. Like they want to be great, and to be great, you got to push through those hard things. You got to fight through the tough times, and just hard work and never giving up. Honestly, hard work and never giving up. That's what I try
that's
to put into it.
that's a fantastic answer.
Yeah,
One of the things and I know in a couple of the sessions yesterday, they talked about, coaching girls and the emotions.
yeah.
Is there anything better than watching that girl get her first win?
Oh man.
Or, I mean, just some of those things, the emotion that I can tell you, I coached since 1999 and I coached boys up until the last, 10-ish years.
Yeah,
I don't ever remember shedding a tear in boys wrestling. And I swear to God, every year there's more and more emotion involved, and
yes.
I
Yeah.
absolutely love it. What is the emotion like for you?
I don't know if you ever seen me coach, man, but like I get into it. Like it's very like I don't know. I feel like if you sit back and be like quiet and stuff, like that's how your wrestler is gonna be. If you're out there and you're up pace and you always happy, you always smiling, you always ready to go, that's what type of wrestler you're gonna be. You know what I'm saying? If your leader is upbeat and he's going and he's always smiling, he's going at it, you know what I'm saying? No matter what, no matter what's going on, that's you're gonna be like, man, I want to be like him because he's never down. He doesn't seem like he's going through it, but I know he's going through it. That's why I try to present, just being excited, And I remember my first girl last year, my girl Nevaeh, she didn't get her first win. She's our heavyweight. She didn't get
Mhm.
her first win until freaking conference. And man, she lit up. She got up. She was like, woo. And it was just like it made me feel good because like,
uh,
she was one of those girls who were like, man, like why is it not clicking yet? And I'm just telling her, hold on, keep pushing, keep pushing. It's gonna come. And man, she kept pushing and she won a match at state. Then she ended up going she won a match at conference and then she ends up going to state. So it's like a big thing, man. You just gotta keep going and they're starting to believe and they keep believing, keep showing it. And it's I don't know. It's awesome, man. I love that feeling when that girl finally clicks and it's
yep.
like, I see it. I know. I understand now. And it's awesome. Like it's especially when it happens and just the way you said it was. And it's like, okay, here we go. So
That is awesome. Yeah, that
yeah.
you kind of answered my next question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. A lot of new wrestlers, right? I mean, we
Yeah.
all have a lot of new wrestlers. Sometimes we get
Yeah.
juniors and seniors out, and things. What are some of the strategies you use to build up, those new wrestlers?
Just you know, letting them know, like being upfront with them, like it's not going to be easy. You know, I think a lot of people, they try to sweet talk everybody into it, but I tell them it's not going to be easy. But I bet you, I used the girls that last year. I'm like, you see those girls? They never wrestled before, and they made it to state. Like, just imagine what you can do if you just put your all into it and all of them be like, okay, I want to try it. I want to try it. And they'd be like, she did that? And I'm like, yeah, she did it. And they'd be like, I want to try it. Or just, having confidence. And, sometimes the girls always say, you recruit all the time. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm always talking. I always want people to come out. They're like, man. And I'd be like, hey, you should come out for wrestling. Hey, you should come out for wrestling.
Yep.
Just keep it going, and they're like, you always recruiting. Yeah, because I want us to be the best. And for us to be the best, we need everybody to come along with this. So it's just keep on, asking people, keep on pushing people, just building a core where building something where everybody wants to be a part, everybody wants to be a winner, right?
Yep.
What you want to do to be that winner, so that's all it is, just trying to show them like it's good over here. If you come over here, it's good.
That's awesome. Um, Confidence is
Yeah.
such a huge, huge thing. It's amazing. Even girls that have been doing this for a long time, they
Yes.
don't always believe they can do it. What are some of the things that and if you got some good ones, I told you before, we're going to write a book. Because I think this would be a bestseller. This would be something that's super important because every coach is trying to figure out how do we get these girls confident in themselves. I mean, you
Right.
coach boys, so you probably had that one kid that really wasn't that good, but he'd
Right.
go out there. He didn't know he wasn't good. He'd just go out and he'd beat people, and it's like
Right.
I don't even know how you won that match, but whatever. And
Right.
then I got girls that are really good and they have the skill and they just don't believe in themselves. How
Right.
can we get those girls to believe in themselves?
Uh, I, like, I'm not saying this is the best. I try to say small victories, like
Mhm.
small things. Like maybe it's hard to make weight, you know what I'm saying? So let's try to see, like, let's get down the weight, slowly, not just trying to push it all at once. Maybe it's having the fear standing up, getting out from bottom. So, just work on bottom a lot, just working in those areas that we can prepare ourselves because we know we're like, man, I feel so weak here. And it's like, nah, let's work in that area. Let's try to get better in this area so we can have more confidence. And that just goes in the practice room and stuff like that. You know, I try to tell our girls like, you belong in every match. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's here, When you start thinking that you can't beat a person, that you already lost the match. I think, my coach used to tell me that when I was in high school. They were like, you got to have the mindset it's like you are the baddest mofo around, And like girls, it's hard that it's hard for them to
Yep.
get like that a little bit, but it's like a walking film, it's a talking, and I'm starting to see some of them like getting that actual like macho look a little bit,
Uh-huh.
starting to believe it, but it's just like small victories, Don't you can't tear a person down, and think, oh, they're gonna go out there and be awesome, you know you you point out the good things. I like to point out the good things first before, after a match, I point out the good things. I'm like, okay, like we were good on our feet, we were real good on our feet, but what we messed up on is when we got on that mat and we couldn't build our base up and get out and stuff like that. So we got to get better at that. And the girls are like, okay, I was good on my feet. Okay, now I gotta think.
Yep.
I gotta get better on bottom now. I gotta get better on bottom. So they're like thinking like, okay, I'm getting better, and they're seeing it now. So those are the things I feel like that helps. Like just you know build them up slowly. Like don't try to break them down so fast. And oh, you didn't do this. You gotta nah, man. You gotta slowly build them up. So I learned that. I have a lot of sisters, so I had to learn to be patient. I had to learn to you know not be so forced so much.
Yep.
So I thank God for having all those sisters. So it's awesome.
Uh, you had a decent sized team last year. What are the numbers looking like coming back and what do you think the team's going to look like this year?
Man, so we were young last year. We graduated four seniors and we had like 25 girls. So I'm I'm thinking like 30 to 40 girls can come out.
Wow.
Yeah. Our middle school coach, Comagese, he did an awesome job last year introducing it to the middle school because it was their first time having it. And man, like you had so many girls and they were just out there going hard. And I remember we went down and watched them wrestle in the Veda and they were all just competing. Like it was just all these girls never wrestled before, but they were going hard. Like they did not want to lose. The competitive nature was there and it was like, okay, I can deal with this. I can work with this right
Oh,
here.
yeah.
So that's like I said, like off season stuff, we've been having a lot of girls coming to that stuff. Like in the past, I don't think I've had like 12, 13. I haven't had that big
Hmm.
number before. It's all probably like five or six or, one or two girls. So I can see it's moving in the right direction right now.
Marshalltown's a little bit bigger city and a little bit bigger school.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of multi-sport athletes? A lot
Yes,
of, yep.
yes, a
What's
lot.
your thoughts on multi-sport? Because it seems like the more and more we go, everybody's getting more. You gotta concentrate on this sport. You gotta just be this. And I'm not a big fan of it myself, but
No.
what do you think about multi-sport athletes?
I was a multi-sport athlete, so like I love it. I think most college people love it too because you're not just training in one area. You're training your bodies in all different types of ways. So like when people say, "Oh, you got to focus on this," not really. Freaking Ben Cooter, he played football, he wrestled,
Yeah.
like he's one of the best. So you don't have to. I think you don't have to just focus in on one area and thinking, oh, this is how I got to be a state champ. That's not true. I've seen multiple state champs like not just wrestle all the time. So yeah, I'm on that. I like being multi-sport athletes. You move different. You're athletic, so it's good.
Yeah. Awesome. We're gonna go back a little bit. Atumwa,
Yeah.
uh, your hometown.
Yeah.
How did you end up becoming the girls' coach?
So I had got done with Warburg. I was like, man, what am I gonna do now? Like, I don't want to stop this wrestling stuff. And I had made a post on Facebook, and my coach from back home, back in the town with Jeremy Frew, he's like, hey, he DM'd me and he was like, hey man, come back and come and help us coach out, and stuff like that. So I ended up being a volunteer, working with the youth program and everything, helping out there. I was helping out and on the boys' side of things. There was some girl stuff going on. I was helping out, like taking the girls to the tournaments. They were kind of pushing me in that direction already and stuff like that, molding me to be that guy. And then like I think what was the year later, Fru was like, hey, they're gonna have a girls program. You want to be the girls head coach? Man, I was like, what? Me? And man, that made me so proud because like I remember going home to my mom and like just telling her like, wow, like this is what's going on. She was so proud of me and that was just like awesome because like I don't know, I just never experienced that type of stuff before and it was a great moment for me.
And you had one of Iowa's best down there in
Yes.
Ottumwa, Jasmine
Yes.
Ludke. What was, I ended up coaching, I think, Jasmine a couple teams, those early years when we put dual teams together. I know she was on a
Yeah.
couple of them. Super kid, super family. What was it like
Yeah.
coaching Jasmine?
It was awesome. So I've known Jasmine for a while because I wrestled with her brother in high school and like, she was always at the camps and she was always at the youth practices and stuff. The only girl in there, but she was always in there working her butt off scrapping. And like she didn't shy away from anybody. She didn't care if you were a boy. She didn't care what it was. She was going in there and she was gonna kick your butt. And that's what I liked about her. And I always use her as an example of like, this is what, a hardworking person, if you really want it, this is what you're gonna do right here. That girl overcame so many obstacles. She worked her butt off. She was just amazing, man. She was a girl that, I always would think about like girl wrestling. She's one girl that I'm like, boom, like Jasmine Lukey because like, I
Yep.
know her personally, I know how hard she worked, and it was just amazing seeing her grow throughout her life.
Yeah, it's been neat watching a lot of those girls, and now
Mhm.
they're in college, and they're,
Yeah, I know.
you know, I know they weren't the first girls to wrestle, right? I mean,
Right,
but they were part of
right.
a group that really made it mainstream, that really made
Yes,
it popular, and said, "Hey,
yeah.
it's okay to do this." Those first ones, I'll never take away
No,
what they
no.
went through, never ever,
Megan
because they,
Black, like
yeah,
those girl, like I know Megan Black. Man, she's a tough cookie too. Like
yes,
that's
she
what I'm
is.
saying. Like that's somebody Jasmine talks about. So
Yep.
it's like, man, it all comes into a fold. Like, it's always a good leader in front of another good leader in front of another good leader. So it's awesome, man.
Yeah. And you had mentioned, and actually you were talking about it yesterday, your sister uh
Yeah.
ended up
Asia
wrestling
Cobb.
too.
Yeah.
So what's her story?
Man, she was a person like she wasn't even thinking about wrestling. And then like one day she came home and I was at my mom's house and she was like, Isaiah, our school's offering wrestling. I think I'm gonna do it. I was like, okay, okay. So then the first year, she was like, she didn't make it to state the first year. Her second year, that summer before her second year, man, she was working hard. She was going to Sam Siebold. That's Siebold's sister.
Yep.
She was going
Yep, I
to,
know Sam.
yeah, she was going to her place up there. Jasmine, she got hooked up with Jasmine. Her and her mom were just helping her go up there. And man, the next season, she did phenomenal. She ended up being a person that didn't go to state the first year. She went to state, then she ends up placing that state, and it was like, wow. And now she's at William Penn wrestling and stuff, and it was just like, you know, she's another person I talk about, like starting without, not any knowledge about wrestling and just full hard fledged into it, and like she loves it now. So like uh just being in that process, seeing her grow like that, it always made me feel like, yeah, I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing the right thing. These girls are doing the right thing and stuff like that. So it's awesome seeing her doing that stuff and being able to, seeing her wrestle, and just because, I always give a little joke and say she did better than me and my brother. So it's awesome to see. So it's always good, man.
And how's she liking William Penn?
She loves it. She talks about Cash and those guys and like how they all so cool. And I just hear great things about William Penn and the program they run there, and it's awesome, man. It's really awesome.
Yeah, I know those guys pretty well. They are super guys and stuff.
Yeah.
Let's go back. Let's talk about your high school and college career just a little bit. You told me that you're a football player. You weren't
Yes.
even a wrestler till high school. So
No.
how'd this all happen?
Freaking, I remember, so I ended up moving to Iowa, and I go into the roundhouse because they have a football stuff, and um it was a guy there, Jeremy Frew. He's the head wrestling coach in the town. He's like, you wrestle? I'm like, huh? Nah, not really. And he was like, I'm thinking it's WWE though.
Uh,
And he's like, oh, okay, come out for wrestling. And that after the football season, I went, and I ended up freaking liking it. And it was this one coach, his name was Eric Griffiths, and he was just freaking. I love his intensity. He was always, he's like a drill sergeant. He was going at it, and like it was just awesome. And I remember just I don't know, they were just those guys I wanted to be like, and the way they operated, and the way, I just seen how they took a team where Jeremy Fruit just took over, and he was just molding everybody. And like my senior year, we end up winning districts, and that was like the first time that ever happened. And like I don't know if in a Tonwan history.
uh,
And like it was just like the work ethic I seen those guys putting in, it was just amazing, man. And I just like always said, I was like, I want to be like that. I want to be a coach like that. I want to change something like that. And they don't even know. I always look up to them for that, you know. So
Very good. What position did you play in football?
running back.
You're a running back.
Yeah, I actually broke a 99-yard touchdown run against Marshalltown.
Nice. It's Marshalltown. Well, they don't like you there, huh?
Yeah, the superintendent actually remembered that. I was like, oh, geez, like
Oh,
it's pretty
and
good.
then college, you came up to Northwest Iowa. You went to Iowa
Yes,
Lakes. What was your
yes.
experience like at Iowa Lakes?
Oh man, that was so awesome. Like Cody Eilish, he was a good guy. I remember I was at this, I was thinking I was gonna go to Nyack in Mason City because I think I just came from a visit up there. And Cody had called me on my way back and he was like, hey, I was like, yeah. He was like, I want you to, come and take a visit. He was like, have you made your decision? And I was like, no. He's like, I want you to come and take a visit to Iowa Lakes. And I was like, okay. But I already just told my mom, I was like, Mom, I'm thinking I'm gonna go to Nyack because it was beautiful. They just had built the
Hmm.
dorms, everything was looking nice. I was like, I'm thinking about going there. And Cody called me. We ended up going up there, I think the next weekend in freaking in Estherville, Iowa. And I don't know, I seen Cody and I was like, I like this guy. His enthusiasm, the way he was, like just, my mom even said it. She was like, I like that guy. He's really nice. He's gonna take care of you. And that's what he did. He took care of me. He just, he made me a better man. And like I think I had a lot of good coaches, a lot of good role models in my life because of these guys that I'm mentioning right now. And they were just I don't know, awesome people to be around. And I don't know. I would do anything for those guys, like the way they helped me, So
So when we look at two-year schools, a lot of people kind of look past them, right? I
yeah.
mean, they do. But what was, your experience there was really good. You had a great
Yeah.
coach, uh, cheaper education. Why would you tell kids to maybe take the two-year route to start?
Well, for me, it was like I didn't know too like I felt like my ceiling was still high, with wrestling because I was new. And I was like, let me go to a 2 year, get myself get everything under my belt, and I didn't have the best grades, so I was like, let me just go this route and and just if I want to transfer, I can transfer out and it was I don't know. I just felt like it was the best decision because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I didn't really know, if I really wanted to do wrestling, what if I didn't want to do wrestling? I wanted to go back to football. So it gave me that opportunity. I wasn't spending a lot of money like, you just said. So it gave me an opportunity to, see if I really wanted to compete, if I really wanted to be, that. So it was I think it was a better opportunity to me than starting to a 4 year and then having that much money I have to pay. And it was just it felt like the right move for me, in the
Good.
long run it was.
And then you end up going to one of the best wrestling schools in the country.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Went to Wartburg. What was the experience like at Wartburg? I mean, I know you weren't there when Coach Miller was there. I'm sure he stopped in here and there, but
Yes, he did.
all the guys that come out of that coaching tree are just amazing coaches.
Man, like talk about a guy that's always fired up. Uh, Eric Keller, he just that's the type of enthusiasm I like to be around. Like ask the girls, I'm always high key, I'm always high, I'm always up pace. I'm all like if it's quiet in the wrestling room, I just break out and just scream. "Wah!" And everybody was like looking like I'm like, let's get it going, like he was that guy and like just the team, the way they work, the way, it was just the way the winning atmosphere was around there. I loved that. And like everybody bought in. It wasn't nobody like over here. Like the community, everybody bought in. It was just wonderful. And I learned a lot from those guys just sitting there, watching how everything moved and everybody was. And it was just like, he had us like, it was like a well-oiled machine. You know, everybody's moving at one. So it was really nice, man. It was really nice.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, you're a great coach. I mean, I can say it's just one thing that about a great coach, infectious, right? I mean
Yeah.
that's something that you can. I sit here and talk to you
Yeah.
and like, man, I wouldn't mind. I'd kind of like to wrestle for you. I'd like to be in for you, you know? I mean, so I mean that's part of it. And you've mentioned a lot of great coaches. Um, I can clip this up and we can send it to your coaches. You want to tell us each coach that inspired you and got you to where you're at right now
Yeah.
and stuff. And I know you've mentioned them, but let's give them one more shout out.
I just want to thank Jeremy Frew, Eric Griffiths, Cody Alish, uh, freaking Eric Keller, uh, Derek Fye, just I want to thank, if you had anything to do with me being where I'm at today, I want to thank all you guys, and I really appreciate everybody.
Awesome. Next question. It's going to kind of they gave you something that
Yeah.
they passed on their legacy, passed on through you. You have your group of girls, your legacy. What are you hoping that those girls bring forward? What do you hope that they give to somebody else?
Just, you know, just that ability, like, not giving up, showing that they they're still it's always going to be a fight. It's always going to be a fight. Never give up. um Always talk about not giving up on your family, not giving up on your friends, just pushing through it, not giving up. You're going to be tired, when you have to go to work in the morning. You're going to be tired when you have to, what are you going to have to do? You got to sacrifice things, and it's always just pushing through, fighting all the time. Fight, fight, fight. I think that's a big thing to me, is fighting, because, you know, you fight every day. You wake up, you fighting through something every day. Everybody's fighting through something. Even the richest person, they're still fighting through stuff. So just fight, man. I just want that fight, that passion, and the love. Honestly, fight, passion, and love.
Like it. I'm gonna ask you a bunch of different questions now. Some
Okay.
are wrestling involved, some are not, but these are just kind of to get to know you on a
Right.
little bit different level. I want to know everybody, not just like our girls. We want to know them more than just as a wrestler. So,
Right.
um, you know, I'm an old guy, so if I even try to touch the practice playlist, I'm down. You're a lot younger than I am, but
Yeah.
do you still get any opportunity to touch the practice playlist at all?
Yeah. You know, they like the music I kind of listen to now. So
Oh,
it's
there
like,
you go.
it's kind of cool, and it's just, one day we might have country, one day we might have freaking 2000s R&B, one day we might have rock, it's just different stuff, man. And I love it because, they we got Hannah Montana Party in the USA, and they seeing me, they're like, "Oh, you really singing this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I love this." Like, so it's just like things like that. I think that's why I feel like I can relate a little bit to more. They're young, so it's like, oh, he's kind of like Big Brother to me right now. So
Uh-huh.
I gotta kind of listen to like what Big Brother's saying, because Big Brother's trying to help, and it's awesome seeing that, man. It's awesome. Um, yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
I get
So no, you get to be big brother. I'm grandpa.
yeah.
So there's actually a picture of me with I don't you probably remember Izzy Deeds.
Yeah, yeah.
Izzy and I were at a tournament down in Florida, and we had gotten bucket hats that year. So I got a bucket hat, and I'm just sitting there, and I don't I'm looking like a grandpa. And someone took the picture and they captioned it, "Izzy, take grandpa home." So yeah, no, it those years come quick, man. So enjoy
Yes,
them,
yes.
enjoy it, have fun.
Thank you. Thank
Uh, all wrestlers love food, right? That's
Yeah.
that's something we do love.
Yes.
I think of things that I had after weigh-ins, and boy, it was crap, it was junk. But what are some of the things you're telling the girls to eat now after weigh-ins? Before those, we don't have a lot of time, an hour, 2 hours at max
Yeah.
before the wrestling. So what are you
Um,
having them have?
so we have like the family, we have families that volunteer and they like bring food and stuff. So we'll have like, I kind of got this from Keller and those guys, and bagels, cream cheese, honey, probably like sandwich me for throughout the day. Oranges, fruit snacks, the little veggie chips they like, yogurt, um, yeah, that type of stuff. Just stuff that, that's not really too, fatty or whatever, to give them energy throughout the day, granola bars and stuff like that, stuff like that. And then afterwards, if we have a good tournament on a Saturday, we might go out to like Olive Garden or something just
Nice.
to, get them to like, they like that type of stuff. So I like to give them that type of, that's like what would you say, a motivator right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So that, if we do good, we're gonna go out. So it's they like that type of stuff. So
I absolutely my guilty pleasure food is ice cream. Man,
ice
I grew up
cream.
on ice cream. My family would have we never went without ice cream and Dr. Pepper in our house.
I'm
Uh,
chocolate chip cookies.
your chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah,
I
love
have
them.
whatever. I don't care what ice cream it is. Do you have a food that you're just like, man, that's I can't live without that stuff. That is my thing.
uh chocolate chip cookies, and I like pizza. Uh I like macaroni and cheese a lot too, especially the way my sister makes it. It's really good.
You're talking a good homemade macaroni and cheese,
Yes, that's what it is.
not we're not microwaving and
No,
we're not
no,
doing
I
a little
don't like
blue or
that.
yellow. Yeah,
No,
that's
no.
no, I hear you there. Hey, I'm coming to Marshalltown sometime. Where are we gonna go out to eat? What's the best place you found so far?
Man, they got a good flying elbow. It's a good burger place, and man, it has like WWE stuff in there. They have like the Tombstone burger and stuff. And I remember when I came up here to, interview for the job, that's one of the places they took me, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be here a lot. So the flying
I get it.
elbow, that's where we would go.
Flying elbow, very good.
Yep.
Um, I don't get to travel much. I wrestling's kind of my vacations, but
Yes.
do you have any spots that maybe that bucket list place you want to go on vacation sometime?
Um, I would say I like fishing. I want to go to Canada to go fishing. Some of the coaches they talk about it a lot, and I think I'm gonna go this year, so one of these years, so we'll see.
A
Canada.
lot of yeah, a lot of coaches do that fishing
Yes.
trip. That's something my head coach in high school every year went to Canada.
Yep. See.
I I just fishing never was I was the baby of the family
Yeah.
and they my dad and my brother and my cousins and uncle where they'd go fishing. They love fishing. And they told me that if I talked that it scared the fish away and I like to talk. So I hated fishing. And then hunting is another thing. Everybody likes to go hunting, and I
Yeah.
hate it because well, I hate to be cold, and they would always for they. I was kind of like the hunting dog, being the little kid. I'd
Yeah.
always have to go walk through the terraces, and I hated it. Hated it.
No.
Absolutely hated it.
Yeah, I love fishing, man. That's something I got big into when I moved to Iowa, so it's really good.
Yeah.
Calming, very calming. So
Favorite wrestling shoe. What kind are you wearing?
the JBs, man. I remember my first pair I ever got, and that's when I turned wrestling on. Jordan Boros, they came with it was the red and gold shoes. They came with the running shoes and they had the wrestling shoes. They came in a box.
Uh-huh.
And my coach, Derek Fye, he got them for me, and it was so awesome. I never forget those shoes. I wore them all the time.
Yeah, Rudis. I've liked the Sly Fox a lot. I've gotten
Yeah.
several pair of those and stuff. Yeah, the Rudis knows how to package their stuff.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
It
yeah,
looks nice. Their stuff
yeah,
is nice. I do
yeah,
like
it
that.
is. Yeah,
If we changed you, we got you a new job at the head of the NFHS, and you were on the rules committee. You got to make decisions.
yeah.
What's a rule you'd change about wrestling?
I don't know. I like all the rules that I used to think about wrestling changing, like they already, like the 2 point, 3 point takedown now. Not well, I don't coach boys anymore, but shaving your face and stuff like that,
Hmm.
wrestling with the beard. So I think they're doing a good job right now, just right now. If okay, one thing I would change, I would bring it back to the old ways where you can weigh in the night before and stuff. And
Yep.
yeah, so that's one thing
Yeah.
I would change, but I
When you were in college, when did you weigh in for meets?
we weighed in the day of the meet. Yeah, we weighed
Like,
in the
so you're going to be jealous of this. When I was in college, we actually did weigh in the night before the meet. And in college, you started your first months of November, you got a 4 pound weight allowance, and they subtracted weight as you went. So really the only time you made weight scratch for like a regional or national competition, I wrestled in the NAIA, and that's most of our
Man.
meets were that way.
Where'd
So
you
it was
go?
great.
Where'd you go to school?
Dana College, little
Anaheim.
Blair, Nebraska, little tiny.
Okay.
They're closed. They're closed in 2012 or 2010. They closed, but
Okay.
they were solid. They were in the G Pack like with Morningside and Briar
Yeah.
Cliff, and
Yep.
while Dana was in the G Pack, they never lost a G Pack conference
Really.
title. Yeah, so
Dang.
they were solid. But yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, it was interesting those old years, uh you'd be weighed in, the night before, man, you might be 10, 12,
That's
14
what I'm
pounds heavy.
saying. Like
Yeah,
it
it
would
was
be awesome.
yeah, it was all right. It was definitely all right. I got just a couple of questions left for you.
Okay.
Um this one's, in the school, so you're used to fill in the blank stuff. Wrestling has taught me to blank.
Wrestling has taught me to fight. Um, like I said earlier in the interview, you know, I grew up hard, mom, single mom, and she always that's why I have respect for women throughout this whole thing, because she always taught me. She never gave up. She always went to work. She's always pushing, even when she had me and my sisters and brothers at the house, she never showed weakness. She never showed that she was tired. She always fought through it. And I think that's what made me to be like a fighter, just fighting, hardworking.
Yeah, moms are my mom was probably one of my best friends too.
Yes,
I tell you, I that's that having that mom. I think that might be something that I wonder if that's common with this girls wrestling coaches.
I
That
think
mom
so.
was really important, man. Yeah, it could be. I think I told you at some point, Roy Salzer was somebody I always looked up to and watched. We used to have to get our VHS tape out and record the PBS duels, but
Yeah.
now, I mean, the kids can get on YouTube all the time. You probably have that opportunity too.
Yeah.
Was there someone that really inspired you when you were coming up in wrestling?
Oh man. Ed Roof.
Ah,
Ed Roof the truth, man. Like I wanted to be like that guy. I wanted. Oh no, man. He was like my big idol. Like, and I'm sorry, I know we're in Iowa, but I like Penn State. Like I
how do
like
you
Penn State, man. Like
how can you not just be impressed? Even if you
yeah,
don't like them, how can you
yeah.
not be impressed by what they've done?
Yes, yes. But Ed Roof, just the way he competed. When I started getting introduced to wrestling, he was one person that like I remember he was at the NCAA's and a person was in the referee's position on bottom and he starts like this and he ends up cradling the guy and I was like, what? How did he do that? And friggin' I end up doing that in college one time and I was like, yeah, that was because of Ed Roof right there.
Did you
So
do that step over
yeah.
cradle?
No, so
Oh, no.
yes, like yes, it was awesome and like I was like, man, it was because of that guy. So Ed
So
Roof the truth.
when we get to Boone, I have my 100 pounder. I think she'll be 105 pounder this year. She wants to hit that so bad. I might have her talk. I might have her talk to you. That's something. And
Yes.
that's out of my wheelhouse. But I always encourage them to do whatever. If there's some move that they want to try, go for
Yes.
it. I don't. I think it's fun. Um, not the company, not the organization Wrestle Like a Girl, but what do you think Wrestle Like a Girl means in the state of Iowa, and what do you want your girls to think Wrestle Like a Girl means?
Man, I think wrestle like a girl means in the state of Iowa is just like just hard nosed, hard working. Um, like I think about when I think of that, I think about like, you know, when that Iowa, when the Hawkeyes, when Dan Gable and them, I think like our girls are like getting like that right now. Like they have that
Hmm.
type of mentality and just tough, tough. That's all it is. Just tough nose, just hard working, just grinding. And then, I'm starting to see that, like I seen it with Jasmine. Now I'm seeing it with these new girls, and it's just like it's gonna happen. It's just tough, hard nose, and that's what's wrestling like a girl means in Iowa. And I want our girls to think like wrestle like a girl, that means that we're tough. That means we're hard nosed. That means we're going, we could do anything. And that's what I want to happen. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, another part of the sport that I really love is that they are that way. And
Yes.
some of those matches are just it is a
Yes.
straight up fight.
Yes.
But then they're done with that match, and it's like they can forget it all. And there there's a
Yes. It's
hug.
like,
They're friends. They're on Snapchat together,
yes.
and it's just that to me that's such a cool thing that they absolutely can have some battles, but then
Yes. Yes.
they can still be friends right away.
Yeah. I was
You
gonna
don't see
say,
boys doing that.
I was just gonna say, like, afterwards, they give each other a hug and, they're over there, one just probably beat the other and they're over there just laughing away. I feel like if that was me, I would have been so mad. I wasn't saying nothing to no one. But that's that good sportsmanship. That's
Yep.
like, no matter what it is, we're still cool. Like it's at the end of the day, we're doing this because we love this sport. So I love seeing that still. And I love the cheering. I love the way they fight, man. It's awesome.
Yeah. Last thing I got for you, final thoughts.
Yeah.
Before you do this, I'm going to say, hey, I'm so glad I've got to meet you over the last few years.
You.
You are just fun to be around. I can tell the girls just have a good time wrestling for you. I really
Yeah.
I just appreciate good coaches. And I
Thank you.
think it's awesome that there's people there that are, you know, I started a long time ago coaching girls, and it's really heartwarming to see everybody that's doing it now. So I
Yeah.
wanted you to know that. But final thoughts, it can be anything, whatever you're thinking right now.
Just, you know, I want to thank God for the opportunities that I have gotten. Um, I want to thank everybody who's pushed for this. Our girls, you know, we don't know. We just raised a new height. A lot of these girls, they couldn't go to basketball. They couldn't go to, track or whatever because they felt like they weren't play that wasn't their place, and now they feel at home. They feel like a place of safety. They feel like, it's more of them that's like me. It's more people that want to compete like me, that want to have a competitive nature. And I just want to say I really appreciate the girls athletic association just, you know, putting all this together, making this possible for everybody to enjoy this, these athletics, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for doing this. I do. It was
For
fun.
having me, man.
I
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed having you on. It's great to get to know you. Can't wait to see you in Boone.
Thank you.
Um,
Can't wait to see you.
have a great beginning of your season.
You too, man. Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right.